I feel like trading psychology is like one big umbrella that covers everything that we as traders need to work on to become successful.
Where'd you find this?
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dariana, aka Not Her Time, aka your trading bestie, and today we're going to be talking about a very important topic to me, trading psychology. I love talking about trading psychology because it is such a deep topic and it needs to be consistently worked on and sustained no matter what stage of your journey that you're in. Just like anything else, trading psychology is a skill that needs to be built and practiced over time. Here's a little backstory. One day I was just sitting in my charts reflecting on how I can improve my trading psychology because showing up to the market and making the same mistakes was just not helping. So I'm just thinking about it, like, what am I even supposed to be working on? So I decided to go on Google and look up a clear definition of trading psychology, which is the mental state and emotions of a trader that determines the success or failure of a trade. So I'm like, okay, I just need to gain mental strength and emotional control in the market. So I'm more Googling, I'm looking up how to gain emotional control in the market, how to be stronger mentally, etc. And with all that, I narrowed down 4 skills to actively build your trading psychology. Number 1, I have mindfulness. I put mindfulness at the top of the list because I feel like it's just one of the most important skills to have when you're in the market. Mindfulness is basically just being self-aware. How do you feel before you are entering your trade? How do you feel while you're actually in your trade? At what point of your trading day does your anxiety begin to rise? Do you know if you're capable of making a rational decision in the market at that moment? Can you pinpoint when you're about to make a trading error or when you're about to break your rules? Can you tell the difference between an actual good trade versus a revenge trade or a FOMO trade? To intentionally build my mindfulness skill, I started doing these things. 1, I started doing yoga. I love yoga. Yoga is basically like trying to notice the feelings of my body in relation to the thoughts in my mind while I'm on the yoga mat. This really helped me because I'm doing an action that can be physically difficult at times while having to gauge where my mind is at. I like doing challenging yoga because if I could train myself to withstand the physical tension and the mental tension of being in a difficult pose or just doing a difficult routine, then I should be able to train myself to be in the market during difficult times. When I am in a losing trade, can I just let the trade hit my stop loss? Can I withstand the drawdown? Can I stay out the market if I'm having FOMO? Going through all those things in the market is uncomfortable, but am I able to look past that so I can hold out for the greater good? I also started doing meditation, which, similar to yoga, is just me focusing on my breath, but also being conscious about when thoughts arise and being intentional about bringing my focus back to my breathing and not whatever is going on in my brain. Everything I learned from practicing yoga and meditation, I just apply when I'm in the market. And it's really helped me to limit the trading errors that I would always make, such as cutting my winners early and jumping out of runners due to fear. I know yoga and meditation is not for everyone, but you could literally still build mindfulness by intentionally practicing self-awareness in your everyday life. For example, let's say you're at your job and all these negative feelings start flooding in because you just hate it there. Acknowledge those feelings for what they are and accept them, and then choose not to let them bring your mental down. Choose not to entertain them. The only way for you to be able to make a conscious choice is by knowing what is going on internally. And the more you practice being aware of your internal self in real life, the more aware you will become in the market over time. From there, you can practice making intentional and conscious decisions regardless of how you feel in the market. Number 2, I have self-discipline plus self-management. We all know the importance of self-discipline in the market because you've got to be able to follow that trading plan to be successful long term. But we need to be able to do more than just follow our trading plan. Once we learn to be aware about what's happening in our mind and conscious enough to make a choice to either succumb to it or do what you know is right, you need to be disciplined enough to do what you say you're going to do, right? For example, let's say you're taking a 100K funded challenge. And on this challenge, you tell yourself that you're only going to take A grade or B grade setups. You're just at the market, you're chilling, you waiting for your trade, and then you see this setup. You see a D grade setup. And it's this demand zone and price gets to the D grade setup and it starts projecting beautifully, just so beautifully. The most, like, it basically like takes off from the demand zone. So you decide to hop in. Be for real right now. Be so for real. What are you doing? What are you doing? You told yourself you're only going to take A grade or B grade setups, then you jump into a D grade setup because the market seduced you into getting in with them beautiful projections. And then guess what else happened? Guess what happened after that? You got faked out and then you lost. How many of us can relate to that? How many of us can relate? Because I know I can. In that moment, you needed to be disciplined to follow your own call to action. I realized to have self-discipline, you need a good sense of self-management, meaning, are you taking responsibility for what you do and don't do? What is in place if you don't follow your rules? What do you do if you aren't showing up like you should? We are all human. We all have bad days and bad weeks, and we are not perfect. But how do you bring yourself back? How do you bring yourself back from them down days, them down weeks, them down months? That is all part of self-management. Do you need to show yourself grace and give yourself time to intentionally recover before jumping back into the flow of things? Or maybe you need to just hold yourself accountable and limit some of that dopamine in your life until you get back on the ball. Here's a little real life example. I require myself to do a certain amount of backtesting every month just so I can make sure that I'm getting as much study time as I can so I can be sharp in the live market. I have a rule for myself that if I don't complete my required backtesting for the month, I will delete one social media app until that backtesting is complete and next month's backtesting is also complete. This way, I'm building self-discipline by making sure I am consistently backtesting throughout the month, and I am self-managing by holding myself accountable if I don't do what I require of myself. The only way to build discipline is by being disciplined. It is a skill that needs to be practiced. Practice doing what you need to do when you know you need to do it, rather than doing something only when you have the motivation to do it. The third skill is emotional intelligence. Being emotionally intelligent just means being able to monitor, understand, and manage your emotions. When you are in the market, what physical cues arise during certain situations? For example, when you're in drawdown, does your heart rate increase? When you are in a runner, are you sweating? When you miss a trade, when you miss your entry, how are you feeling? Do you feel stressed? Are your thoughts racing? After you acknowledge what your physical cues are that signal to you that your emotions are going crazy, you need to write down what is causing those physical cues, aka the drawdown, aka missing your entry. Once you're able to acknowledge all the emotional information that your body is giving you, can you use that information to guide your actions in the market? That is kind of like the foundation that you need to be practicing in order to build that trading psychology, okay? Going back to mindfulness, going back to self-awareness. Self-awareness is key to be able to acknowledge your emotions and their impact on your actions in the market. Another way that I like to build my emotional intelligence in the market and just learn to be more aware of it is during my trade reflections, I like to rate my mental, my emotional control, and my discipline on a scale of 1 through 10 based on how well I think I handled these skills during my trading day. If you're constantly getting 9s and 10s or even 8s, then you know, like, your emotional intelligence, girl, is increasing, okay? You're getting better. And it honestly, it's such a great feeling. Like, literally, y'all, I feel like the whole improving at trading is really just self-reflection, reflection of yourself, what you're doing. Are you following your rules? Are you being aware in the market? Are you being aware of yourself? And then also, of course, reflecting on your actual trades. You know, what is the market looking like when I win? What is the market looking like when I lose? Etc. And the fourth skill that I have in this video is belief and faith, aka your mental skill. If you have a negative mindset, you'll be making it harder for yourself to improve your trading psychology and your trading skills as a whole. You can kind of gauge where your mental is at by just monitoring your thoughts that arise when you're going throughout your trading day. What thoughts arise when you lose a trade? When you lose a trade, do you just be like, oh, I'm such an idiot, like, why did I take that trade? The same mistakes over and over, I can't do this. Do you sound more like that, or do you sound more like, I lost today, I accept this loss, losses are part of trading, I do this, you know, there's another trade tomorrow. There's another trade next week. There's always going to be another trade. Let me see what I can learn from this loss and let me show up again the next day. Which one are you? Are you beating yourself up when you take a losing trade, or are you giving yourself grace? How are you coping with losing and winning trades? After you lose a trade, is your whole day ruined? Is your whole day ruined? Like, be for real. When you win a trade, are you on a dang high? Are you freaking high off life when you win a trade? Are you just, I do this, like, I'm about to up my risk, like, calm down. Calm down. Make sure you're watching how you speak to yourself in the market. If you make mistakes, do better. That's just it. Do better and move on. Reflect on the mistake. Write down whatever you need to write down. And keep it going. You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to think, oh, like, this person is making so much more money. We trade the same strategy. What am I doing wrong? Literally, it's all experience. It's all practice. Okay? It's okay. And the best way to really just make sure you're keeping your mental skills strong is just having that consistent faith in yourself and believing that at the very end of the day, you're going to figure this thing out no matter what. And that will keep you in this game long term. Because honestly, I feel like that's really the key to success in trading. Like, just perseverance. You're going to take losses. You might blow accounts in the beginning. You might fail challenges. But are you going to stop there is the question. Because if you stop there, then you failed. But if you keep going, and you keep going, eventually you're going to end up in the people who are successful. Basically, that's just what's going to keep you in this game long term. If y'all made it to the end of this video, leave a comment below on some skills that you work on to improve your trading psychology. Maybe something I didn't, talk on in the video, or anything to add. Like, that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. I feel like overall, the best way to improve our trading psychology is just to continuously have these conversations. Have these conversations about the mental state, emotional control, self-discipline, all the things that revolve around trading psychology. So y'all just help each other out in the comments. Help me out, because we in this together. We all in the same place. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If no one has told you yet, let me be the one to tell you that someone has faith in you, and that someone is me. With love. See you in the next video. That was so much fun. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. It was hard, but it was fun.